Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Age of Aquarius Awakening Hub. It's Lady Individuality. And here we lighten up, tune in, and stay anchored so we can keep our inner world strong as the world evolves. Now take a deep breath with me and release. Now let's get into today's question of the day. Who are my invisible spirits of love, protection, guidance, and abundance? That's a good question because, first of all, I'll tell you, my journey with the spirit world in this lifetime has been a long one, sometimes confusing, but I've always had some type of protection and guidance and abundance out here, hence why I'm still around. But I'll give you a little bit of my background history. I came into this life in a religion that taught that, the true God or creator had a name and you had to use that name in order to be set apart as his people, and that name was Jehovah. And there was a certain way you could approach him. You couldn't just go straight to him. You had to go through his son, Jesus Christ, and use what they call the Holy Spirit. So there was a process. And, that served me until my late 30s. And, some things just weren't making sense, and the religion of my parents no longer served me. I had to go find my own spirits because it wasn't working anymore. And so I started experimenting with different types of what they call divination, which before I left that religion, divination was considered wicked, evil, something from the devil, and you weren't supposed to practice it. But after I left, even though I lost that identity, I still had that feeling that I was being guided. It wasn't just my higher self. There was something greater than me, keeping me safe and out of trouble and in alignment. And so I was praying one day and I came across the Kabbalah, and they have like 72 angels that, is based on your birthday. They're called your birthday angels. And mine was the angel Nithya. And she's like the god of wisdom, and she helps protect you from from black magic and harmful things. And she helps you answer esoteric questions about the universe and all that. And that just resonated with me because all my life it was like I always had a question about who really is Jehovah. Like, 'cause I heard the Alpha and Omega, but it wasn't registering in my brain because it's kind of like I'd go back and it'd be like, well, I can only go back this far, but still, who had to create that? And then who had to create that? And then who had to create that? And I make myself sick until I finally just said, well, if he wanted me to know, I'd know the answer. But the confusion there was that religion didn't teach that souls carried on, not in the sense of other lives and like you can reincarnate back here on the earth. And so when I found that out, it's kind of like, who really is the spirit world? Because I met people that contacted their dead loved ones, and those were their spirit guides. And I actually, they call them mediums. I actually had a medium who brought my uncle back to me one day, and I had never experienced that before. And so now it's pretty much, I call the group because Nithya is there, and so I also use like angels, like the Archangel Michael for protection, and Raphael for they call him the death angel. Like whenever I want to send people relief from something they're growing through, and I can't do anything on my own strength, I'll send the angel Raphael, and just other common angels that are here to guide us. Because a lot of people don't know it, but every time we come into this human existence, we're given angels guides because they know that we're humans and we need something greater than us to survive this planet Earth. When we were in the other realms, we didn't have suffering and things that made us want to go home. And so, in order to traverse this with the purpose that we came here for, we needed these guides. And, in the religion I was raised in, there was this thing called Satan, the devil, and that was supposed to be, the wicked angel. But I don't really follow that concept so much anymore, as far as something outside of me making me do something bad or whatever. Because what I'm learning now is we come to the earth to learn lessons, and I get our blessings. And so things that I grow through now, it's not to harm me, it's to help me to see the path that I'm going in needs to be adjusted and corrected so I can do the things that I've come to earth to do and fulfill my purpose. And so if you ever enter some of my cohorts or my processes like Unsinkable, you'll see that I schedule them a lot around 8 o'clock because that's the residency time for Nithai. And that doesn't mean that's the only time I can approach her. So it's more like feminine energy, but that just means that those are the most powerful times. So you will see other times, but if you see an 8 o'clock one, that's where whenever we get there, we have at least that spirit there, and and others. And but that's the thing about my company, club, hub, however you want to call it. I don't just bring in my spirits. Whoever comes into that room with me, it's kind of like what they call a prayer circle, if you want to say. But prayer, some people say prayer, some people bring ambulance, whatever it is that they do to connect to their spirits. That's what comes with us into that room. But there's no harmful spirits that can come because we have the oaths and everything in place. And so it's nothing to be scared of. Fear of the spirit realm is something that humans have used to control people, get them to stay in these organized religions and institutions, thinking that they're wicked, and if they don't stay, then something bad or evil is going to happen. I beg to differ. If you don't learn to trust your guides and your invisible spirit creatures, you're going to always find yourself in unhealthy codependent relationships. And so one thing I would suggest, if you're curious about if your spirits have names, ask them. See what comes out. Don't be afraid. Ask them to help you feel safe in asking because you're curious. And sometimes I don't use names. I use like source. And when I say source, I'm talking about the entity, being, or whatever that created everything. And when you think, well, what is everything? Well, it's everything above everything. The reason that anything on earth exists at all. And or sometimes I'll even say universe. But whatever it is, it's a connection to me, and it's something different than my higher power, because my higher power is something that's within me, just like my inner child. But these invisible spirits, they're outside of me to give me help on the earthly planet. I hope that helps explain my invisible spirit guidance team, and how you can find yours. And remember, even if you are afraid when you go to ask anyway, because you'll never know until you do. I can sit here and talk to you all day and all night, but you'll never know until you give that courage to ask. And hopefully we'll see you in one of my classes, especially the be your own guru. If you're new to the spiritual realm and you want to learn more about how to get in touch with it and how to trust it, because that's my biggest mission, I guess, on this earth at this time, is to help people stay out of unhealthy codependent relationships. And the way you do that is by establishing healthy relationships with your invisible spirit powers and yourself. Because what's that saying? There's 3 reasons things come into your life: for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. Well, the only thing that's going to be with me for a lifetime is all aspects of me and my invisible spirit team. And so that's what I want for you all. I want you to know that whether my company goes away, whether religions goes away, whether pastors, elders, or whatever go away, as long as you got that relationship, that healthy relationship with your invisible spirits and yourself, you're going to be okay. And so, with that being said, I'll quit talking because it's been over 10 minutes and I do love to talk. But yeah, take on that challenge, find your spirit team, and may the universe show you something beautiful today. Namaste.